Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is Hayley from Alchemy Online, our Tuesday mornings here where we're doing power vinyasa, power flow, building strength in our core, our legs, and just kind of getting us pepped up for the day. I find that I'm needing that balance between doing really powerful, strong movements and yoga practices as well as those yin and more softer ones. But today is all about work. I have a great class plan. We're going to do a lot of core and we're going to do a lot of legs, lots of slow movement and a little bit of yin in just to kind of balance off all of the hard work that we're going to do. So if you have 2 blocks, that's great. 1 is probably enough for today, but if you have 2, it's nice to have them close by. If you don't have blocks, you can use big books. I find even cans, even sometimes going by a stair, that will help. So let's come to our mat, just move our blocks off to the side, and we're going to start laying on our back in that supine position. Now you can choose to start in Shavasana with the legs out, or bring the soles of your feet together and butterfly out those knees, just with a little soft opening with the hips. We can take those 2 blocks or cans or pillows or whatever you have and just put them underneath your knees for support. Laying all the way back onto your back, kind of letting those hands come out nice and wide, walking the shoulders kind of either in or out just to take away any of those bony areas, maybe moving the fleshy bits of your glutes out of the way. And then just taking a big inhale through your nose. Opening up your mouth and letting it all go. Another big inhaling. Fill up that lower belly. Open your mouth, side out, squeezing that belly button towards your spine. Last big inhale in. Open your mouth and sigh. Just let everything get heavy onto your mat. It's almost like you feel yourself just pouring down onto your mat, filling up as much space. Noticing, are you comfortable? Noticing all the areas of your body making contact with the mat. Feeling all the bones and muscles and skin get heavy. Letting your hair go. Even letting your eyes just fall back. And bringing some attention into your breath. Noticing first, where does it land? What is the rate? What is the texture? You might even notice, what does your breath taste like? And then from wherever you are, just beginning to lengthen out the inhales and having your exhales to match. With every round of breath, just slowing down and relaxing more. Following that inhale breath in and matching the exhale. Go ahead and take 3 more rounds of breath here. And that last round, you might choose to go ahead and set an intention. Seal it in and secure it with that exhale. Now bring the knees to center. Move those blocks just a little bit out of the way. Go ahead and pull your knees in, wrapping your arms around the outside. Allowing yourself to rock a little bit from side to side, even moving the knees far to the right and far to the left. And then let's just land our knees over to the left, both knees together. You're going to come right up onto the left side at a T. Just a little gentle supine here. Gonna go out. Bring it back to center. Just a little bit of the core muscles to do that. And then let the legs fall off to the right side. Knees together, gaze goes off to the left. Now, those of you that were in my class, in my online class last week, or maybe practice with me here in the studio when we were doing that, they know that when we start on the back, that means we're starting with the core. Come back to center and straighten the legs up to the ceiling, flexing the feet. Now the hands can come down by your hips. Really what we want to make sure is that lower back is sucked down onto the mat. So you might even lift the hips up and plant your thumbs or your hands just underneath your glutes. That just ensures that that lower back is sucked right down and is going to stay attached to the mat. Now your feet are flexed, your legs are nice and straight. The head, back of the head is staying glued to the mat. Let's lower both legs together just until you find that area. It might be here, it might even be that low hover 6 inches off the mat. When the lower back lifts, that's as far as you've gone. Actually gone too far. Inhale, the legs come back up. Now let's lower the legs back down and then bring the legs back up. Let's do 8 more. Lower and rise. Legs are straight, lower and rise. There's 5 more. Now you're feeling that in your hip flexors. But imagine it more coming from that belly button and just beneath area. 3 more. 2 more. Whew, feeling this starting to work. And last one. Good. Bring it back up. Pull your right knee into your chest. Let the left leg fall down. Give it a little squeeze in. And then another supine twist here. That right leg's going to fall over to the left side. Arms are out at a T. A little bit deeper into this stretch. Maybe gaze again, falling in the opposite direction. Back to center. Right leg's going to come down. Left knee is going to get pulled in nice and tight. And then let it fall over to the right. Gaze over the left. Feeling that stretch through the core. Come back to center. And then back to both legs. Up. Nice and straight. Again, if you did so on the last, you're going to want to do so. We're adding on here. Bring both thumbs maybe right underneath your glutes, sucking that lower back onto the mat. Now this time, head again, shoulders stay glued to the mat. Lower those legs down to where it feels comfortable. Lower back engaged, and then crisscross 2 times, and then leg up. Okay, lower it down. This time, crisscross. Left leg goes first. You gotta alternate which leg leads. Back up. Let's go for 6 more. Right crosses left 2 times. Back up. And lower. Left leg crosses over. 4 more. You're just doing 4 crisscrosses. Right leg crosses first. 3, 4. Both legs back up. And both legs back down. Left leg, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs back up. Let's go for 2 more. Right leg, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up. And both legs down. Left leg, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs back up, and then pull them into your chest. Maybe grabbing around the back of your thighs and rock and roll, massaging out that lower back. Take 3 or 4 times. And then come up to that seated position. Let's extend the left leg and cross the right leg over, planting the foot just right around that knee. Right hand's going to come behind, and that left arm is going to cross over, hooking to the outside of that right knee, and then just pulling the right shoulder back, seeing that if it can come in line with the left shoulder, maybe the gaze if your neck permits. looks behind you, but making sure to sit up nice and tall, pulling that belly button into spine. Whew. Let that go. Right leg down, left leg crosses over. It's that left arm that's going to come behind just for support to keep the body sitting up nice and tall. Right arm's going to cross over. Maybe waving at me, I'll wave at you. And then that twisting with the exhale. The neck is the last thing to go. It's more pulling back that left shoulder, and then the gaze follows. Coming back to center. Okay, both feet planted onto the mat. A little soft bend into the knees. Move out those fleshy bits. And then from here, sitting back into that boat position. Now, the feet can stay planted. You can grab behind your thighs, lift up the legs, or just lift them up however you are. The big thing here is length. We're looking for length. So we're not falling in, we're lifting up the heart and broadening across the collarbones. Now, let's just roll a little bit onto the right hip. Let the knees fall over to the right and take both hands off to the left, pointing at that corner of your mat. And then lower down and back up. Doesn't need to be big movements. We're going to go for 10. If the feet need to come down, they can. But see, can you leave both feet up? Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Going right over to the other side. You got to roll onto the left hip. Both hands come onto the right. Let's go for 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2. Good one. Come back to center, cross the ankles, bring the hands forward, and then step back into that high plank position. Now in that high plank, making sure that the wrists are right underneath the shoulders. The pointer fingers are pointing straight ahead of you. There's a nice balance of stretching between each of the fingers. Feet, big toes can either be together, but I prefer them to be about hip width distance apart. And then you're pushing into the mat. You're kind of hollowing out that center body, maybe even pushing off your toes. You see with me, I tend to push more forward. If you're working on doing those handstands or press up to handstands, this is where it all starts. Shoulders being over top of the wrists and feeling what that's like to not be landing onto your face. The strength is there. Okay, let's inhale that right leg up. And then bend the knee and pull it over to the right elbow, adding a little bit of a crunch, and then exhale it back out. Let's do 4 more. Right knee outside of right elbow, crunch, little side, 3 more. Last 2. And last 1, pull it in, hold, 3, 2, 1, and then place that right foot to the outside of the right hand into that lizard position. Left knee is going to come down onto the mat. This is where our blocks are going to come in handy. The hips aren't quite open, but you can feel the body's starting to warm. My heart's beating. I can feel warmth in my chest, in my shoulders, even going down my arms and into my pelvis. So we have enough blood there to kind of work into this deeper hip opening. If you want, come down onto your hands, maybe go down onto the elbows. I always invite a little bit of movement. And then there's breath. Let the gaze go straight down, feeling that length. And then there's that pulling of the heart forward instead of that rounding down. We're pulling the heart, letting the shoulders relax down our back. Now, the next step here, if you want, is to roll to the outside of that right foot. Let that right knee just kind of fall off the mat, and then you can take that right hand onto the knee, just stacking right shoulder over top of left, adding a little bit more into the stretch, maybe looking up, still feeling that length on the left side body, rolling that right shoulder back, opening up the heart to the side room. Beautiful. Okay, come back to center, back into lizard. So that right hand again is coming to the inside of that right foot. Plant again, both hands right underneath the shoulders. Flip under that left toe, the back leg, and straighten that leg. Now, just like we did with the plank, it's pushing the mat away. It's hollowing out the front side of the body, spreading across the shoulder blades. Can you lift the right foot to a hover, and then kick it back into high plank? Perfect. If you want to go to down dog, if you need that little break, you can do so. But again, finding the foundation of what our high plank is, pushing the mat away, hollowing out, engaging the legs. So this practice is going to be about finding where can we find strength. Our body tends to go to the same place. Can we look for another place to help us? If our shoulders are feeling this, can we engage the legs a little bit more, pulling those inner thighs together? Perfect. This time, left leg comes up, and then bring it out to touch left side and a crunch. Push it back. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And that last one is going to be a hold for 3, 2, 1. Left foot comes to land on the outside of that left hand. Right knee comes down. And a break. Inhale, pull the heart forward, flatten out that back, relax the shoulders, and then exhale, going a little bit further. You might find a little bit more depth. Now on to this side. Lengthening out that neck, gaze going straight down, either to your thumbs or your elbows. A little bit of movement. And then stillness. Every inhale, looking for length, pulling the heart towards the top of the mat, and exhaling, just releasing a little bit more into those hips. Now I'm going to come up onto my right hand. The left hand's going to come onto the inside of the left knee. I'm going to roll to the outside of that left foot and just start to peel back left side part of the body, stacking left shoulder over top of the right, going a little bit deeper, a little bit further. It's always, if it's accessible, you can bend that back knee, you can hold on to the foot. And breathe for 3 and 2 and last 1. Come back to center. Left hand is going to plant to the inside of that left foot. Come back up onto the foot. Tuck under those right toes, straighten that leg. And then again, you know what we're doing? We're going to try to hover that left foot. So first, the foundation of plank, pushing into the hands, hollowing out the front side of the body, pulling that navel right into your spine. And then can you do it? Hover. And then kick it back and down dog this time. Inhale, roll forward to that high plank. Knees are going to come down, lower down, just either halfway or all the way to a cobra or an up dog. And exhale to down dog. Now in this down dog, let's dance it out, swaying the hips side to side, paddling the feet. Those first down dogs is all about movement. And then we can move further into stillness. And in stillness, we're pushing the mat away with our hands. You should even be able to lift up that kind of crease at the lower part of your hand, meeting into the wrist. The weight's more into the knuckles and the fingers. Arms are nice and straight, and back has length. You're lifting up that tailbone and letting the heart sink just slightly towards the toes. The gaze is between the heels. Your shoulders are relaxed away from your head, away from your ears. Heels may touch the mat or they might not. It doesn't matter. Okay. Let's inhale that right leg up to the sky, bending the knees and opening up the hips. Now choosing to stay here, or I'm going to walk you through flipping the dog. Coming up on the left tippy toes, bring the shoulders over top of the wrists, and then just gently lower that right leg down and extend maybe the left leg forward, lifting up the hips and the heart towards the ceiling. Okay, now from here, we're going to come straight into side plank. So lowering that left shoulder, dropping the left hip. Maybe you start with the feet stacked one on top, but I'd like you more to come with the feet scissored. Right arm up and left arm down. Now, if you want, that's too much, just lower that bottom knee. Now that right arm's up, you're going to wrap that right hand down around, coming to a little twist, taking the shoulders both towards the mat, even the hips. And then inhale, reach up. Let's go for 9 more. A little twist here. And then inhale straight up. I'm going to show you what it looks like when both feet are scissored. You'll come up onto the toes, modified plank. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale. Let's go for 5, 3, last 2. Whew. Everybody feels this? Last one. Come back up to plank. Now, can you lift that leg or pull the knee in and then drop, the right foot to come up next to the left hand. You might need to scoot that up. Lower that back knee back down and then shift the hips back into half split. Inhale, look for length, and exhale, dropping down, not rolling, keeping that back nice and flat. It's like we're reaching the heart towards the toes, pulling right hip back. And you want to take it a little bit further. Really flex that foot. Pull those toes towards the forehead. Good. Let's plant the left hand and then inhale, little revolve twist here, going towards the right. Keep drawing that right hip back and left hip forward. This just intensifies it a little bit further. Okay. We're going to go back into a side plank modification here. Take that right leg and just sweep it to the back of your mat. This is where my long mat comes in handy. If your foot's off the mat and you're not on a hardwood or a linoleum or something, just move yourself up. Inhale that right leg up. That right hand up, and then take that left leg back into side plank. Now from here, we're going to take the bottom leg, the bottom knee, and bend it up towards that left elbow. I'll show you first. We're just doing for 5 times. So knee comes up, and then extend. 4, 3, 2. If you can't do that, that's fine. Just stay in side plank. And then right hand down and down dog or child's pose. 2 breaths here. Let's go to the other side. Inhale that left leg back up to the sky, bending the knee and opening up the hip. Coming up high onto those right tippy toes, shift the shoulders over top of the wrists, and then nice and slow, left foot down, right leg straightens, lifting the hips and the heart up and reaching towards me. Filling up those lungs, 2 breaths. Now moving into side plank, dropping the right hip down and either stacking or scissoring left foot in front of the right. If you need to, that bottom knee can come down. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's go back here. Now, you know what we're doing? We're doing those twists. So that left hand's going to come down, wrap to the right hip, squaring the shoulders and hips, and then coming back to side. Let's do it again. Going 10 total. Exhale, wrapping the hand. That's 7. This is 6. 5. 4. Only 3 more. Whew, I'm sweating. We're almost there. Last 2. And last 1. Back to side angle, maybe lifting the leg, drawing the knee in, and then pulling it to land. Right knee comes down, shift the weight back into half split. Inhale, flat back, and exhale, going a bit deeper. Inhale, flat. And then exhale, stillness. Drawing left hip back, right hip forward. Maybe that micro bend into that left knee. Flexing the toes up and pulling the heart towards the toes. Beautiful. Right hand's gonna plant down. Let's revolve, twist this. Left hand reaches up, or maybe it comes onto your lower back if that's too much. Again, it's about the shoulders. It's not about the hand. But this intensifies it. Keep on flexing that left foot, toes up towards the forehead. Okay, from here, gaze is going to come down. Just extend that left leg to the back of the mat into this modified plank. Right arm or left arm reaches up. Okay, you know what you're doing here. Now, if the first one was too much, you can do this from modified. Take that top leg and then just pull it towards that top elbow. You can do this. It's the same thing. For the rest of us, we're going to work the other side of the body. Let's take that bottom knee, right knee, pull it towards the right elbow, extend it back. 4 more. 4. 3, 2, and last one, left hand down and down dog. Bringing the knees down into that child's pose. Forehead touches. If the shoulders are sore, bring them down towards your feet. 2 breaths here, and then back to work. Inhale yourself back into that tabletop position. Find that center of the mat. Flip under your toes and down dog. From down dog, look forward, hop, step, or float the feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And then sweeping the hands out and up. They find each other in high prayer. And exhale, hands to that heart center. We're going to do 3 sun salutation A's. Get everything back into normal. I'm going to move this mic pack now just back behind me. Okay, feet are hip width distance apart, standing at the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the hands out and up, and then exhale, dive forward. Bend those knees into that forward fold. Inhale to that half lift. And then exhale, full exhale, lower down, chaturanga, high to low plank, knees or toes. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, pulling that belly button up into spine, rolling over the toes into that down dog. Taking a full inhale. And then exhale, looking forward, hop, step, float. Feet back up to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands out and up, lifting the heart, maybe taking a back bend. And exhaling, hands to heart center. 2 more. Inhale, reach up, grow. And exhale, dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hop or step back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale from the core, down dog. Full inhale. And exhale. At the end of it, look forward, hop, step, float. Inhale, up dog, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, sweep the hands up. Take that back bend. And exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, reach. And exhale, dive. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, heart up. And exhale, down dog. Full inhale. And exhale, look forward, feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, little adjustment here. Exhale, sitting down into Utkatasana, chair pose. Sweeping the hands up over the head, pulling those little fingers in together. That helps to relax the shoulders away from the ear. All the weights into the heel. You should be able to wiggle all 10 toes. Let's draw the belly button into the spine so we're not swaying into that lower back. We're looking for length. Sit down a little bit further and then inhale. Stand up, hands to heart center. We're going to do a modified sun salutation B. Sitting back down into that chair, take the fingertips, graze the top of the mat, and then sit down even lower. Bring the hands to heart center and let's twist over to the right. That left elbow is going to cross over top of the right knee. And then the hands are in prayer. You're going to draw that right shoulder back. Take a look down. That left knee probably squeaked in front of the right. Lift up on the left hip. That'll bring them back into a line. Sit down even further. Moving into a lot of strength here into the legs. Now, can we bring the weight into the right foot? Come up onto the left toes. Light, light, light. And just step it back into warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Warrior one foot. And exhale. Bend into that right knee a little bit further. Inhale, lift the heart, look up, close the hands, and then exhale, hands come down, sweep that right leg back, and chaturanga, maybe 3 points of contact. Inhale, up dog, and exhale to down dog. Beautiful. Take that full inhale and exhale. Tippy toes, bent knees. Hop the feet back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then bend the knees, sitting back into that chair pose. Sitting down nice and low. And then come to standing, hands to heart center. Let's do the other side. Sitting down into the chair. Fingertips touch the top of the mat here, and then arms raise up overhead. Nice flat back, sitting down even lower, hands to heart center. On the exhale, twist, this time to the left. Right elbow crosses over top of the left knee, and then using the hands to pull that left shoulder and back. Okay, weights coming into the left foot. Lift up the heel of the right toes. Nice and light, and then step nice and slow that foot back. Plant the heel. Inhale, rise up. Warrior one, and exhale, sink down a little bit further. Inhale, lift the heart, look up, close the hands into that prayer, and then exhale, hands down, float this time, left leg back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Good job, guys. Bring your knees down onto the mat. Time to grab just a quick drink of water, and just to make sure that we have these blocks lined up. We're going to need them. I'm going to grab my drink here. Whew. Well, I hope you guys are working hard. I know I am. I always think I'm strong until I have to teach while I do, and then a whole nother element comes in. As you can tell, I lose my breath quicker. Whew, so stick with me. I'm getting better at this. Okay, after your drink of water, come back down into child's pose. Again, if the shoulders are feeling this heavily, you can bring the hands down by the feet. And just remembering here, in any of my classes, I know they're hard. That's what they're meant to be. This day is about building strength, building courage, stamina. And then we can take everything that we build here on the mat and move it off the mat and carry it through into the rest of the day, into the rest of the week. But please know, at any time, you can push pause. You can come to this child's pose. You can take a break. It's the great thing about online. It's just you and your mat. Okay, from here, inhale back into that tabletop position. You're going to flip under your toes, raise the hips back to down dog, paddling the feet out, finding that nice stable down dog again, always pushing into the hands. You can even lift up your wrists. Looking for length in the front body as well as the back body. This is about building that strength through the shoulder girdle. Look forward, high up on the tippy toes, bend your knees and float the feet back up to your hands. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale back into that chair pose. Hands come up over top of the head. Pull that belly button into your spine. Look up. And then come to standing. Okay, that's sun salutation B. Now we're going to move a little bit further into that. We're going to add on a bunch of work. You're going to have your blocks, maybe one or two, up at the front of the mat. We're going to be doing some tricky transitioning into our half moon pose, warrior 3. So those blocks are going to come in handy. I'm asking you though, stick with me on this. I know you guys can do it. If you do it the first time and it doesn't work, guess what? You get to rewind and do it again. So we'll see if it'll work for me. Starting at the top of the mat, feet probably hip-width distance apart here. Because we're moving from poses into balances, we want to make sure that the feet are always hip-width distance apart. Sitting down into that chair, we remember the first few poses. Fingertips brush the top of the mat, and then they come up overhead, drawing that belly button into the spine, hands to heart center, and then twist. Left elbow crosses over top of the right. And then from here, coming up onto the left tippy toe, we're just slowly going to step that foot back, not pushing it, putting any weight into it, and bring it back in. 2 more. Step it back and bring it in. Whew. Last one. Step it back. These are tap backs. Pull it in. This time, step it back. Let it stay. Left hand comes down and inhale that right arm up. This kind of revolved crescent lunge. Take a look. You're really going to want to make sure here that the feet are hip-width distance apart. If it's better for you to have this left hand on a block, then go ahead and move it there. Pull that right hip back. Scissor those inner thighs together. Nice strong legs. Come up onto the fingertips. Beautiful. And then a little bit more, drawing belly button to spine. Revolve, twisting crescent. Keep that big heavy bend into the right knee. Back hand's gonna fall down your leg, and then reverse this. Whew. Excellent. Okay, come back. Let that left hand, nice and slow, with control, come all the way down back to the mat. And then from here, you're going into that side plank. Inhale, side plank. Everybody's facing on the left hand and outside of the left foot. If you want, you can even flip the dog, lifting up the hips and lifting up the heart. Now, from this flip dog side plank, we're gonna go all the way to half moon. I know, you're like, what, Hayley? How the heck are we gonna get from here to half moon? I'm gonna tell you. Square the hips. Take that right foot, plant it right up, help it to find that left hand, and then extend. Right hand out in front of you, grab a block, maybe even on its highest setting, and then can you stand up and just open up the hip facing the other direction. Whew. That leg, left leg, foot is flexed. The right toes are pointing towards the top of the mat. You have that balance on the block, or maybe you're lifting up off of it. Even thinking about going a little bit further, bending at that left knee, and maybe even reaching for the outside or the inside of that foot. Gaze is straight down. Lots of concentration here. If you have the foot, let go of it. Square the hips. Both hands are coming down onto the block. This is a supported warrior 3. The knee, standing leg, is bent, but that back leg is nice and straight and the foot is flexed. Now pull that belly button into your spine, and can you fly? Full warrior 3, straightening that right leg. Good job. Inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. And exhale, hands back to your hips. 2 more. Inhale, sweep the hands over. You got this. Exhale, airplane. Last one. Inhale, sweep. And exhale back. Now put a bend into that standing leg. Step way back into warrior 2. Wiggle out those hips. Adjust the shirt. Relaxing the shoulders down. Got a piece of hair on this mic. Relax the shoulders. Bend a little bit deeper. Check that the front heel is in line with the arch of your back foot. Feel that outer edge of the ankle of the left foot going to the back of the room. Pull the belly button in. Maybe take a look back and forward. Are the arms in that neutral front and back position? Relax the face. Relax the muscles around your eyes. Flip that front hand. Reverse the warrior. And then exhale, side angle. Right elbow comes down onto the knee. Let's take that left arm, sweep it in front of us, and then inhale. Pull it up and over. Pulling that left shoulder back, bringing the pinky down. Lifting that left side of the heart up. Now, from here, take that bottom hand, reach it down, and then towards me. Fully engaged here for 3, 2, 1. Keeping the arms up overhead. Drop that left hip into high lunge legs, coming up high onto the tippy toes, but we're still reaching the hands towards me, kind of hinging here at the hips. Everybody's feeling this. Can we fly back into warrior 3? Hands come to heart center, standing on that left leg, warrior 3. Inhale, arms up overhead, and then coming all the way up to standing, pulling that knee right up into your chest. 90-degree bend into the hip, the knee, and the foot. Keep that right hand elevated, lifted, and bring the left hand down to grab the ankle. Draw the knee out to the side, and then bring it into tree pose. And then take that left hand, full expression, back into the tree. Pulling that belly button into your spine. Now, do you feel the strength? Did you feel how secure you were going from such dynamic poses to such stillness? I find that when we have so much work going into our body, it's only natural that we're more stable. Okay, hands are still up over your head, right? If not, they can come down to your hips. But if what we're doing is working to our full edge, to our full potential, we're keeping them up. Okay, bring the knee back to in front of you. And then straighten that leg. Keep the heart pulling towards that left toe, and then sweep that leg back. Arms still overhead in to that warrior three. Woo! That takes a lot of strength. Put a bend into the right knee, standing leg. Step way back into that crescent lunge. Inhale, lift the heart, take the hands, close them into high prayer, and then exhale, hands down. Step that right leg back and vinyasa that through, either knees, toes, or 3 points of contact. Inhale, up dog. And exhale to down dog. Inhale again, roll forward, high plank, and then exhale nice and slow, count to 3, chest all the way down, 3, 2, 1. Whoo, belly shavasana, left cheek onto the mat, hands down by your hips, maybe a little wiggle into that lower back, letting all the tension go. Okay, let's do a locust. We're going to do 2 locusts and 2 bows, working the strength of the backside. Big toes come together. See if you can zip the 2 legs together like they're one. Hands are down by your hips, palms are on the mat, chins on the mat. We start by rolling back the shoulders, lifting up the chest, lifting the chin, and then we lift the hands and the legs. Keep drawing the fingertips to the back of the room, back towards your heels. See if you can lift the legs from your hamstrings. Everybody imagine those hamstrings, lifting the legs up even higher, and exhale. Whew, this time right cheek onto the mat. Quick little breath here, quick little break. Shake out that lower back. Okay, let's do that locust again. Toes together, legs together, hands down by your hips, palms onto the mat. Start with the shoulders, roll them back, lift the chest, lift the arms, lift the legs, look in front of you. Engage those hamstrings, take it out of your glutes and imagine those hamstrings pulling those heels up even higher. Draw the fingertips back and exhale, lower. Chance to do that 2 more times, or for the rest of us, we're going to do 2 bows, really working the strength of this lower back, bending the knees if you're doing bow, reaching for the tops of the feet, or maybe even reach for the ankles and flex the feet. That's what I like to do. You have the forehead down onto the mat, and just start by kicking the feet back, lifting up the chest, and then up, bringing the gaze. Keep kicking and lifting higher, 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 and exhale, lower. Whew. You can take the feet, windshield wiper them. We're going to do that 1 more time. But this time, I want you guys to imagine, maybe you might even put it there, but imagine you're squeezing a block between your knees. The tendency is for the knees to bow out, and we want to keep the knees tracking forward and backwards. So again, let's grab tops of our feet, maybe the ankles, rolling the shoulders back. First start with the forehead onto the mat, and then start to kick, kick, kick. Keep on imagining those inner thighs being pulled together. Keep lifting the feet from the hamstrings. Look up and exhale. Last one. Good. Windshield wiper the feet and then land the toes down. Hands are going to come underneath your shoulder. Lift the knees right up off the mat. And then on the count of 3, we're going to push back up, pulling those elbows right in towards the side. Push back up into high plank. Choice here, take that vinyasa, or meeting us all back in down dog. From down dog, you're going to take that inhale. On the exhale, look forward, up on the tippy toes, bend your knees, float. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees back into chair pose. We're not going to forget this. Lift the arms up overhead, pull the belly button into your spine, sit down a little bit lower, and then come to that standing. Good work, guys. Did we all get through that? Okay, we're going to do so on the other side. Way to go. You want to try that again, just at the end, reverse it, try it again. 2 times will probably be the charm, will be better. Okay, let's go the other side. Feet hip-width distance apart, belly button drawn in, sitting down into that imaginary chair. Fingertips touch the top of the mat. Inhale them up over the head. Draw that belly button in, knit those ribs together, and then hands to heart center. This time twisting over. Right elbow crosses right over top of the left. Pulling that left shoulder back, going a little bit further into the twist, and then the gaze is going to come down. Weights into the left foot, raising up on that right heel. Do you remember this? We're doing those 3 toe taps, lifting up the right foot, step it back, tap, and then bring it right back in. Step back, tap, and back in. Step back, tap, pull it back in. This time, step back into that crescent lunge. Right hand comes down, and then inhale, left hand up. Doing that revolved twist. Having that block close by, if you want to bring the hand onto it. Keeping the hips nice and low, left hip drawing back. Now we're going into our balance. Are the feet hip-width distance apart? Scissor those inner thighs together, coming up onto the right fingertips. And then, full revolve twist, bending into that front knee. Really feeling the strength here on the glutes, the quads. My legs are shaking. I hope yours are too. Drop that back hand. Inhale, reverse. And then exhale, right hand's going to come all the way back down with control, and then side plank on the right side. Maybe lifting up that left leg, stepping it behind you, and flipping the dog. Heart and hips pointing out. Now, you guys ready for this? We're going straight to half moon. Those blocks are close by. Dropping that right hip, taking that top leg and stepping it all the way up, right beside that right hand, maybe moving it if you have to. That left hand's gonna reach in front of you for a block or the floor, and then start to roll that right hip back and pop up into half moon. Shaky foot. Flexing the right foot, keeping that right leg straight. Then it's like it's standing on that back wall. Now from here, if you did so on the other side, maybe bending that top knee, grabbing for the inside. Maybe not. Lots of balance here. If you fall out of it, that's good. If you have that foot, little gentle kick, opening up the shoulder. Not for me today. Okay, letting go of that foot. Drop that right hip and right hand down. Keep that right foot flexed and a big heavy bend into the standing leg. This is that supported warrior 3. And then when you're ready, hands, maybe one hand, then the other. Straighten that leg. Full warrior 3. Inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to airplane. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, hands to airplane. Last one. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to airplane. And then bring your hands to heart center. Bend into that standing leg. Step way back into warrior 2. That feels good. Wiggle it out. Wiggle the hips. And then stillness. Checking the foundation of the feet. You should be able to see that inside edge of the front foot. The big toe, maybe the second toe. Relaxing the shoulders. Engaging that inner thigh. Pushing that ankle to the back of the room. Are both of your hands on the same arms, on the same plane. Take a look, and then bend down further, relaxing the shoulders. Whoo, building that strength. Flip the front hand, reverse, and then exhale, side angle. Left elbow comes down. Take that right arm. Bring it forward first. Touch the mat. And then inhale. Start peeling right shoulder back. Little finger points down. Keep rolling that right shoulder back and lifting the heart. Maybe even looking up. Okay, let's go back into the work. Left hand. It's first going to reach down, and then it's going to reach forward, holding on to that beach ball for 3, 2, 1. Come up onto that right toe, dropping the hip into that crescent lunge. Still, hands up over the head, reaching for left hip back, right hip forward, and then fly. Can you do it with the hands still over the head? Maybe. I can. Okay, pull the knee into the chest, and then stand up. Whew. Okay, right hand comes down, grabs the ankle, and then pull it in for that tree pose. Belly button into spine, equal pushing of foot into leg, leg into foot, and right hand comes back up for that full expression, lifting the heart, relaxing the shoulders, broadening across the collarbones. Okay, you guys feel this in the arms, I know you do. From here, bring the gaze forward, bring the knee forward, and then straighten the leg as straight as you can. Keep the heart going towards the toes. Don't allow yourself to fall back. Stay lifted, and then brushing the foot on the top of the mat, back to warrior 3. Hands still up overhead. Whoo, good job. Bend into that standing leg. Step way back. High crescent lunge. Lift the heart. Take that back bend. Close the hands. And then exhale. Hands come down to the mat. Step left leg back and chaturanga. Up dog. Whew. And down dog. Good job, guys. The work is done. Congratulations. Let's go into pigeon. Inhale that right knee forward. Let it touch that right wrist, and then walk the left leg back just a little bit. Bring blocks in. They come in handy here. Maybe one block goes kind of right underneath that hip if it's floating and you like the feeling of ground. And then, because we're resting and getting our heart rate back and our breath back, bring the chest all the way down. The hands can cross one on top of the other, creating a pillow. It's just important here to let the shoulders go. And then those hands come in handy for wiping the sweat off your brow. I know I have a lot. And just relax. Bring as much control back into the breath. Slow it down. And letting the heart rate come down too. Hands underneath your shoulder. Sit back up and just come into a seated position to face me. You should be able to face me. Bring that right foot right into that groin, and that left foot's going to point out. Have the blocks kind of one in front, one in the back. We'll need it for the other side. Sitting up nice and tall. Take that left hand down, just maybe on your calf or your knee, or maybe on your inner. Inhale, that right arm sweeps up and then over. Now this might be as far as you get, and that's fine. Things to think about here is that bend into the left knee. The foot is flexed. And that you're keeping that right shoulder back with the bicep right over top of the ear. You should be able to look up. Looking for that length. Keep growing, reaching the hands towards that left flex foot. Inhale, back up. Take both legs out into that wide-legged stance. Hands are maybe going to come right in front of you. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, with that flat back, just hinge forward. Look down, feel the length on the back of the neck. Blocks there. Can put the elbows on. 2 more breaths. Inhale, sit up. Now we're going to make our way to the other way, so facing the back of your mat. We're going to rock and roll 1 time and then see if we can hop through to that chaturanga. If this isn't for you, just make your way to that down dog. I'll move the mic pad. So 1 roll. Back, cross the feet, hands plant, step back, and chaturanga. Up dog and down dog. Inhale. This time it's the opposite knee. Left knee comes forward, touching left wrist. Now you guys know if this is too much for the knee, you roll onto your back. Take 1 block, put it underneath the hip. The other block for the sternum. Make sure you're nice and comfortable. Sleeping pigeon. Working into that left hip and that inner groin. 3 breaths. Heart rate should be slowed down now. There's kind of a vague, what did we just do? I don't understand. It's there. It's in our body. It may have worked for us today. It may not have. That's okay. We built strength. That was the objective. We tried something new. Those tricky transitions, they can be frustrating. But that's when we have the expectation that it's going to be perfect. And what I've learned in my life, and especially just through parenting and just life, is when we have expectations, then too many times it means failure and disappointment. So when we can not have expectations and let it be what it is, then we can kind of be a little bit more grounded. Inhale. Come up into that seated position. You should be able to again face me. Left foot gets pulled into the groin. Right leg out. Soft bend in the knee. Foot is flexed. Take the right hand down and inhale. Sweep that left arm up and over. Keep pushing this left knee down. It'll want to ride up. Keep pushing it down. Again, this isn't about how far we go down. This is about length. There's an extreme amount of length that we're feeling on the left side. But if we work at going down, then we compromise the length on the right side. So we're still trying to grow on both sides of the ribs. Inhale, back to center. This time, soles of the feet together. Moving those fleshy bits out. And exhale, lowering down. I like to wrap my hands underneath. Last little stretch here. Maybe putting a block underneath the head. If this is straining the back of your neck, but I like to just let my head fall, feeling that extra stretch. Inhaling, sitting up. Moving the blocks out of the way, finding the center of the mat, and then rolling 1 vertebrae by 1 vertebrae, nice and slowly down. You can first draw both knees into the chest, do a happy baby, or for some, it might feel good just to fall into that bed of Shavasana, adjusting all the body parts so that we're touching as much of the mat and taking up as much room as possible. Letting the palms face up. Letting go of the breath, the muscles, letting everything just fall off the bone, even the hair and the skin. Taking that inhale through your nose. Opening up your mouth and really letting it all go. Enjoy your Shavasana. Now I invite you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you want. For the rest of us that need to get onwards with our day, make your way into a seated. I invite you to stay longer if you can. Maybe you just ignore this. But if you're like me, then make your way to that seated position. Use as little energy as possible, maybe rolling onto the right or the left side. Sit up nice and tall, nice and comfortable. Feel that length across your back, shoulders relax. Bring your hands to heart center. Drop your chin down into a bowing of gratitude into yourself. Take that big inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale it out. You can open your eyes. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you.